Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm Omar Valencia, and I'm the first negative constructive speech. First of all, I would like to dismiss his case that obesity is increasing. I found that after more than 2 decades of rising obesity, the rate of increase among Americans is slowly and possibly leveling off, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Among children in kindergarten through 12th grade, the rate is declining slightly, according to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Other studies have found that some improvement among poor and minority-treated children. The CDC reported that obesity among low-income preschool-age children receiving federal food and nutrition assistance declined between 2003 and 2010 from 15.2% to 14.9%. In addition, the rate of extreme obesity declined from 2.2% to 2.1%. The CDC studied 27.5 million low-income and minority children ages 2 to 4 enrolled in the federal Special Supplemental Nutritional Program for Women, the WIC program. It found decreases in extreme obesity in all groups except American Indians and Alaska Natives. The CDC says, to our knowledge, this is the first national study to show that the prevalence of obesity and extreme obesity among young U.S. children may have begun to decline. I would also like to dismiss this case that a fat tax will not reduce obesity. A fat tax doesn't guarantee loss of weight. According to research from Yale University, states that have increased soda taxes have been able to engineer small drops in soda consumption, particularly among adolescents. But this doesn't mean anyone lost weight. Consumers made up for any missing satisfaction with other beverages. Regardless of the tax regime, overall calories consumed stayed constant. The study's conclusion, there is no statistically significant impact of the soft drink tax rate on total calories. The same result turns up in study after study in the US and around the world. A junk food tax in Maine had no impact on the weight of the state. Similarly, an Australian experiment that swapped out high-fat food, ice cream, and yogurt for low-fat versions of children's diets also had no impact on overall calories. Human behavior repeatedly confounds government efforts to impose a diet through fiscal or other means. A fat tax will not work because there's other alternatives for reducing obesity other than fat tax. So we shouldn't implement fat tax in our country. Keith Ayub, associate professor of pediatrics at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, agreed that food is not the only culprit for obesity. Instead, the focus should lie on restoring physical activity programs and offering incentives and tax breaks for those who implement healthy behaviors, what he called actions that reward good behavior rather than punishing bad behavior. To solve the obesity crisis, people don't need more legislation, they need more motivation. The fat tax will not reduce obesity because unhealthy foods and drinks are only a small contributor to many factors that lead to obesity. According to Martin Binks, a clinical psychologist and CEO of Binks Behavior Health, taxation may shift food choices away from those foods, but it provides no guarantee that the consumer will simply shift to unhealthy options or to continue to consume unhealthy quantities of all food while also getting inadequate physical activity. According to economicshealth.org, obesity is caused by more factors than just overconsumption of high-fat sugar foods. It includes issues such as size of portions, levels of exercise, and genetic factors. Also, many foods can contribute to obesity if consumed in sufficient quantities. So the fat tax won't guarantee obesity rates to reduce. My opponent also brings up past taxes like the cigarette tax, but he fails to bring up an actual fat tax that happened in Denmark. There has been a fat tax in Denmark with the saturated fat content above 2.3 implemented in 2011 and then repealed just 1 year later before it failed to change consumer buying habits. A fat tax does not change consumer eating habits, according to Danish Groceries Trade Organization. In January and February, there has been a rise in the amount of food products the Danes bought at the German border. Particularly, the DSK refers to a survey according to which 60% of Danish households have bought beer or soft drinks in Germany within the past 5 years. Only 4 years, 60% of those households said in the same survey that they never traded at the German border. So a fat tax in Denmark didn't change any eating habits over there, so I doubt it'll work over here in the United States. Also, a research by Richard Tippin, who is a professor of applied economics at the University of Reading, which used established data to model the effects of price increases on the eating habits of groups with poor diets, concludes that the tobacco-style tax on unhealthy foods will do little to change eating habits. There's a lot more to explain why people choose to eat badly, apart from the price of food, he says, adding that culture, economic background, and social grouping all play a part in determining poor dietary choices. Unlike tobacco, food is good. Even foods that have some bad components have some quite important nutrients in them as well. There was also, in the past fat tax in Denmark, there was negative effects in the economic. The economic effects of the fat tax in Denmark were uniformly negative. At least 10% of fat tax revenues were swallowed up in administrative costs, and it was estimated to have cost 1,300 Danish jobs. Opinions showed that 80% of Danes did not change their shopping habits at all as a result of the tax. The impact of the nation's wasteland is therefore likely to have been approximately zero. So I don't think we should impose a fat tax. It will not reduce obesity. It can, but I don't think it's a guarantee that it will. Thank you.